Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Morgan, and I'm making this video for my Indiegogo campaign. So basically, I just have this what's called a Deluxe travel router. So it's basically composed of three parts. It's got this router module, sort of the brain up here. It's got a solid state hard drive, 240 gigabytes of SSD right there. Then it's got this USB 3.0 hub with three USB 3.0 ports, along with an extra Ethernet. I believe this is Cat 5. Yeah, pretty sure Cat 5 Ethernet port right here. Also, I should come back to this, the router portion. It has two ports, a WAN and a LAN. If you needed to extend this, you could always add, connect this to a, not what's a hub, or no longer, anyway, a network switch, ideally. So you'd plug in your internet right here, and then your network switch right here. And then right here is the power supply input. If you notice on this model, there's also this this little brick right here, and that is a lithium-ion battery, 10,000 milliamp hours. Works really great, but this part right here is actually not part of what I'm going to be selling on Indiegogo. It's still highly experimental. I need to sort of do a lot more to optimize it. As you know, lithium-ion batteries have a finite amount of charge and discharge cycles, so we will have to determine what, if any, will be the ideal battery type, and to also see how it affects heat dissipation. From what I've done so far, it seems to be pretty good. Neither of these devices generate too much heat, so it only gets about lukewarm when it's at max operation. So likely in the future, I will definitely add on add a model where this comes with it, so that the consumer doesn't have to purchase that separately. So yeah, let's talk about how it works. You can see it's pretty sleek, compact, can fit in the palm of your hand, very lightweight. You can carry it around. I often carry it around in my backpack while I'm walking through Boston, and it works great. There are no moving parts in this, so it really doesn't matter at all if you're moving around. Yeah, I mean, I've never had anything turn off spontaneously or any of these cables come loose. Though I should mention, in the final design, we are going to make this a bit more elegant. We're gonna kind of, make it so that these things aren't sticking out. There's another wire right here going from this SSD to the 3.0 port, and it kind of, you can see it kind of goes below, loops around, comes back up like that. So obviously you don't need you don't need a USB cable that long, and in our final design it's definitely going to be the case where that's managed much better. So no worries there. So back to where we were. So the functionality of the device. So this is the amazing thing about this. The fact that you have this 3.0 port plugged in here allows you to take advantage of better storage than other similar devices in this category. And on top of that, you have room for other peripherals too. So it's not just storage you can plug in here. I mean, I have another 256 gig flash drive right here. But you could also plug in, if you wanted to, you could plug in a desktop hard drive. You could plug in IoT devices, so cameras, things like that, moisture sensors I've tried, and they all work. And it all really gets detected and plays well with this, because this router, the brain of this router, contains a very lightweight distro of Linux. And so it's automatically, right then and there, it's already got much more features than a consumer router. So, you might buy maybe a Linksys or an Asus for your house, even if it's a gigabit router, it still won't allow you to customize settings as well as this. In addition, some of the settings on those things are insecure. I mean, even if you try to crank up security to the max, unless you flash the firmware on those consumer routers, it's going to be not as secure as at least what I would like. This isn't the case with this. This contains open source DDWRT firmware, and so that's always going to be on the bleeding edge in terms of the cybersecurity front, at the very least. So that's another benefit to this little guy right here. So let me just show you how this works. So typically you would plug in your power supply right there. It'll take any 5-volt 2-amp power supply. You can go a little bit lower than that. You can supply 1.8 or even 1.5 volts, but I would not recommend that. You'll be undervolting the device, and peripherals that are plugged in here will likely not work well. So definitely stick with 5 volts, 2 amps, minimum 2 amps. So let me just get this plugged in right here. If I can use my fingers today. Right. So you can see the green light come on. This router takes about a minute to boot up. So a few seconds longer than a conventional consumer home Wi-Fi router, but I think it's definitely worth it for the additional functionality you get. As you can see, that's the light on the SSD. You can see the hub's also active. Another thing I should mention, so you could even say, well, why not make this more compact, get rid of the SSD, just use flash memory. So the good thing about having this SSD here is that it's got a larger surface area compared to this. Both have the same storage capacity, right? Both are 240 gigs, this one and this one. But this has a much higher read-write speed because it doesn't undergo as much thermal throttling as this guy right here because of its larger surface area. So the read-write speeds on this are phenomenal. If you disconnect this and plug it into your computer, you can load and unload large files very, very quickly. So that's the convenience of it. You can just sort of load up at your house right before you leave. You don't have to factor in that how much time am I going to need to print this out or to put this on this device. It's really quick. I mean, even for large video files. So pretty much just grab and go. That was our idea, our goal when we were building this guy right here. So let me show you how this works. So essentially, the easiest way to get at your files that are in here is to use a FTP app or SFT app, or you could use software on your computer. So I wanted a little extra security, so I put all my files behind a Samba share. So pretty much, Samba is a pretty common protocol. Pretty much any device, iOS, Android, Windows, Linux, they all have applications to interface with Samba. So let me just get into my FTP app on my iPad right here. Alright. This Cartoon Network. Alright. Let's go here. So for the iPad, a good FTP app is Documents. You'll find it on the Apple Store. It's the title is Documents, and it's made by a company called Readdle. It's great because it's free, and in the free tier you get a large amount of functionality. So I'll show you how I set mine up. So as you can see, there's you start out the key, all the good stuff is in the left pane right there. So you get the documents, iCloud, Wi-Fi transfer. So that's where I added my device in the cloud, and I clicked add, put in my Samba username and password, and basically when you click nearby, this device right here will show up. I did skip a step, so forgive me. You do have to connect to the Wi-Fi that's given off by this router. So first connect to that Wi-Fi, and you can see I named mine Cisco WRT75 just to trick everybody into thinking this was a Cisco and not worth the effort to hack. Or maybe even could have led to the opposite. Maybe people have tried to hack it because it's a Cisco. It probably has valuable stuff on it. Who knows? So we're back in Documents. So go to in the cloud, go to nearby, and you can see the Samba on the GLAR300M. So let's click that guy. And if this is your first time, it will ask you to provide a username and password, basically your Samba credentials. I've already put mine in, so I'm just gonna click done. Okay, so you can see my 3 folders that I have. This new volume folder is essentially this guy right here, the flash drive, and then you can see the SDF1 right there. That's this SSD. So even here you can kind of tell, that it's a Linux-based system. That these mount points are sort of a giveaway. So let's open that. Oops. Okay, so let's see how it works in terms of media streaming. So you go to movies, and I tend to, in my spare time, get movies and put them into MKV format, just because it's a space efficient, modern video, container format. But the thing is, this item right here is an iPad 1, so its transcoding performance with the MKV is not ideal. So I'm just going to show you an MP4 file, because those are, a bit more native to this guy and easier for it to transcode, less lag. But I mean, essentially on any modern smart device, newer iPads, any smartphone, you'll be able to play MKV files no problem, without any issue whatsoever. So let's go here, Star Wars. Let's check that out. You can see the action taking place here. And there we go. Telltale sign, you're about to see a Star Wars film. Yep. Awesome. So, that's pretty much it. Pause that. I need to get a mount for this. So there you have it. That's how it works. Pretty, pretty awesome, pretty compact device. I use it every day, sometimes all day. But the great thing about this is that the few friends to whom I've made one of these and given it to, they've all had sort of rave reviews about it, and insisted that I go into business with these guys. So I really think that this could benefit everybody, not just techies. Everyone pretty much has important files that they'd like to take with them, not just things that are business related, but also things that are, you know, hold some sort of personal value to them as well. One of my friends keeps all her baby videos on this, so it's a great way to carry around with you the stuff that uh, is very valuable. So yeah, I would definitely like to hear from you guys. Look forward to any feedback, any constructive criticism, any additional features you might like included in this. Would really like to hear that. As I mentioned in the on the campaign page, we're in the sort of the final stage of prototyping, and we're going to do everything else after that's required, like manufacturing, inventory, building. But as far as the last stage of prototyping, we just kind of want to clean up the outside so that it's not as sort of, bulky in terms of wires and stuff. Something that won't get caught on things, something that's, you know, very, of very good build quality. So, yeah, again, my name's Morgan, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.